Hi, my name is Daniel Pelc. I am the Director of Client Solutions and Integration for NightOwl Global in Minneapolis. Today we're going to talk about what managed services can learn from the Tour de France. Wow, that's a pretty tenuous connection. But as we'll talk about in a second, it'll make sense. I got into cycling about 10 years ago, and as you can tell based on the way I look, anyone can do this. It's not that hard. But getting better, getting faster, becoming a stronger cyclist is something that I wanted to do from the very beginning. Reason I got into cycling was because it is absolutely single-threaded. I am able to look at the mile in front of me. I'm able to think about the next pedal stroke. There's nothing else going on in my head. That is a vacation. I love that. But one of the things that I also found in cycling is that there is a very interesting interconnection between predictability and unpredictability. I know my bike. My bike weighs a certain amount. I weigh a certain amount, although that changes frequently. But I can control certain factors. When I ride with my team, I know what our strengths are. I know what our weaknesses are. I can't control the weather. I can't control the wind. There's certain factors that I can't control. But when I'm in a situation in which there's a challenge, having the things in front of me that I know are predictable means everything, because it makes the things that are unpredictable a little bit easier. For those of you who wonder, do we train in Minnesota in snow? The answer is absolutely. So we are that strong. The Tour de France is a perfect analogy for e-discovery. And we'll talk about why in a second. 3 reasons. But when you think about the Tour de France, you think about the individual rider, the rider standing on top of the podium. That's the image that most people have. However, there is a huge team behind that individual who is supporting them. You have chefs and nutritionists that are looking at the individual rider, looking at the stages they're about to ride, calculating exactly what sort of fuel they will need. You have got coaches and strategists that are out there driving the stage before the stage even begins to look at every dip, every bend, every ascent, every descent, figure out chess-like strategy. How is our team going to gain an advantage over everyone else that's out there at the same time? During the ride, you have a mobile command center that is constantly communicating with the team, taking in telemetry, creating real strategy as the race unfolds. And finally, you have a support vehicle that is never more than a minute or 2 behind the riders. They're to do everything from change a flat tire all the way to getting a crashed rider patched up and onto a replacement bike. What I'm asking you to do as far as this analogy is concerned is think about your team. And when you think about your team, what are the limits of that team? And what I pose to you is, in every case that you deal with, whether you're in-house counsel, whether you're a law firm, whether you're a service provider, it entails all of those people. Your team is much larger. Your support team is much larger than the people who are sitting in your office. And what I implore you to do as far as thinking about that team is gain every bit of knowledge you can from them. Imagine being a rider and saying, you know what, it's okay, I don't need you to feed me, I brought a sandwich. Or my wife's gonna chase in the car after me. It doesn't work. You need every little bit of knowledge that is available to you in order to gain your advantage. Second thing has to do with the team itself. If you look at the team, it's more than just that one individual rider. You have like the people on the lower part, the climbers. Their role is to climb, help their lead rider get up to the top of the mountain. You have people who are time trialists who focus on short, fast sprints. You have the guy in the middle, which is a domestique. And the domestique, their job is literally to be the domestic. They bring water, they bring food, they bring messages back and forth. They're sort of like the person who helps the team. But the person in the yellow jersey never started that way. They moved up. They started in the lower ranks of the team and they moved up. Ultimately, the point of the team, though, is to support their riders, to protect their rider from being knocked out of position, knocked out of first place. It's what can you do defensively in order to make sure that you're protecting your lead. Ultimately, when you get down to it, the most important thing is to support your lead rider. As far as what we can take away from this, think about the definition of what your team is and who your team is. We can't all be yellow jerseys. We can't all be mountain climbers. We need people who are cross-functional in order to support the common goal. So that's one other thing that I would implore you to do as far as how you structure your own teams. Who do you have on your side? Are they all attorneys? Are they people who are technologists, people who are in data science? As a managed services provider, NightOwl can't afford to just have yellow jerseys running all of our cases. We need people who are cross-functional. So again, think about your own teams from a broader perspective, realizing the fact that your success, that yellow jersey, is the culmination of all of it. Last point has to do with the Peloton. The Peloton is a device to help block wind. In fact, the people who are in the middle of the Peloton, studies show that they only experience 5% of the wind that the front people experience. It's an amazing thing. Our team does it constantly. What I pose to you as far as this is concerned is this event is a Peloton. We are all out here, the people who are up on the stage, but all of you who are communicating with each other at the table, we're all blocking the wind for each other. We're communicating, we're passing information back and forth, we're making the slower riders a little bit faster. By employing some of these tactics as far as creating stronger teams, creating more broader teams as far as recognition, and then thinking about how we share and collaborate can make all of us a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, a little bit better. Thank you.